Is this how it ends? A beige room, a chair by the window, and the distant sound of a TV you didn't choose? They told you it was normal, that this is what old age is like. Invisible, silence dependent. And you accepted it until one day you thought, is this really it? But what if I told you all of that is a lie? That there are 9 real, human, and accessible paths to live your golden years with joy, connection, and total control over your life. This isn't a video to fill you with fear. It's a guide, a revelation, a key to help you choose with dignity again. And yes, let's be clear, because many of these options don't require great fortunes. Some don't even involve moving. They just require one decision, not to surrender to the imposed version of aging. Stay until the end, because this information could change your life, your parents' lives, or the life of someone you deeply love. I'm going to show you 9 real, proven, and exciting ways to age with freedom, dignity, and authentic connection. Some will surprise you. Others might make you cry with relief. And if at any point you feel one of these options speaks to your heart, write in the comments. Because when a story is shared, it doesn't just heal, it also lights the way for others. And if all of this resonated with you, if you felt that someone finally spoke from the heart about what truly matters, I invite you to stay with us. This channel isn't just information. It's companionship, clarity, and a guide to navigate this stage with power and with love. So, if you want to keep discovering paths that honor your story and give you back control, subscribe and hit the bell icon. You're not alone, and you'll never have to navigate this in silence again. Every story is different. Every body, every soul, and every desire is unique too. That's why there isn't just one right way to navigate this stage of life. Some people long for new beginnings. Others, however, simply want to stay where they've built their lives, but without fear, without limitations, with just the right support. And that's where our first path begins. A real, dignified, and increasingly accessible option. Aging at home with the care you deserve. Option 1. Aging at home with in-home care. Has anyone ever suggested it's time for you to move and you felt a knot in your chest? It's not just pride. It's because your house isn't just any building. It's where you watched your children grow, where you laughed, cried, cooked your best meals, and accumulated silences full of history. But over time, that same place can become challenging. A shower without a grab bar, a dangerous staircase, a medication you forgot to take. And then the question arises, can I really live alone anymore? The good news is, you don't have to give up your home to be well. There's an increasingly common and powerful option, receiving professional care at home. It's not about giving up control, but about keeping it wisely. Elena, an 84-year-old woman, decided with her husband to move to a smaller house. They're still completely functional, but they dream of having someone cook for them or accompany them to their doctor's appointments. We're doing well, she says, but it would be wonderful to have help without having to leave our space. Or Clara, who is picked up every morning by a unit from an Element Care Center. There she has lunch with friends, does crafts, gets physical therapy, and returns to her house in the afternoon. It's the best thing that's happened to me, she says with a smile that says it all. And now, let's be clear, many people believe this is only for those with money. But that's not entirely true. There are state programs like IHSS, foundations, day centers, municipal or religious services that offer this kind of support for free or at a very low cost. You just have to know who to ask, where to look, or allow yourself to be guided. Because aging with dignity shouldn't depend on your bank account balance. It's proven that those who age in a familiar and known environment have less cognitive decline, less depression, and a greater sense of control. And that is pure gold at this stage of life. Your home can continue to be your refuge, your temple, your world. It just needs to adapt, not disappear. If this option resonates with you, write option 1 in the comments and tell us how you imagine aging in your own home. And if you're already living it, your story can inspire many others. But if the silence of your walls is starting to weigh on you, Perhaps the answer isn't the place itself, but the company. Let's talk about that. Option 2, living with family with clear boundaries. But of course, fear appears. Will I be a burden? What about my privacy? Will I still be myself? That tension is real, and that's why there's something that changes everything: clear boundaries. Family living isn't sustained just by love, but by conscious agreements. Teresa, at 77, moved in with her daughter after being widowed. But she didn't invade her space. She has her own area on the lower level of the house, with a separate entrance, bathroom, and kitchenette. During the day, they each live their own lives. At night, they sometimes cook together. It's not a perfect dynamic, but we respect each other, says Teresa, and that makes all the difference. Similarly, Luis, at 81, lives with his college-age grandson. They keep each other company, but each has their own space and rules. It's not dependence, it's connection. And yes, living with family also eases expenses. There's no rent, utilities are shared, and the fear of being alone during an emergency is reduced. But for it to work, respect must be as strong as affection. Research shows that older adults who live in family settings with defined boundaries experience less depression, fewer hospitalizations, and a greater sense of purpose. Because when you feel part of something, you also remember that you still matter. If this option touches your heart or gives you hope, write option 2 in the comments. And if you already live in an arrangement like this, share how you made it work. Your experience might be just what someone else needs to read. Now, then, what if you want to share your life with someone, but it's not your direct family? What if the connection you're looking for is beyond a last name? Stay tuned, because what's coming next might give you a totally new perspective. Now, perhaps you don't want to move in with your family, and your home is still your refuge, your world, but you feel it's no longer as safe as it once was. That rug you always liked now seems like a trap. The bathroom has become an obstacle. The kitchen makes you a bit scared, and we understand, because no one should have to choose between living in their home and living in fear. The truth is, you don't have to leave, you just need to transform it. Option 3, intelligent home modifications. Intelligent home modifications allow your space to adapt to you, not the other way around. It's not about turning your house into a hospital, but into a more comfortable, safe, and functional place. Luis, at 80, after a fall, was about to sign the papers to move into a retirement home. But his granddaughter, an architecture student, intervened. She installed sensor lights, grab bars in the bathroom, a stair lift on the stairs, and even a voice assistant to remind him about his medication. "I stopped being afraid of walking at night," he said with relief. And what about the cost? Not everything requires a large investment. Many municipalities, organizations for older adults, and even churches offer programs to adapt homes for free or with financing. In some countries, you can even deduct it from your taxes. The important thing is to know that these alternatives exist. Adapting your home is one of the most powerful ways to prolong your independence without giving up the warmth of your environment. Studies show that these improvements not only reduce accidents, but also anxiety, insomnia, and even depression. Because feeling safe at home is feeling at peace with yourself. If this option speaks to your situation, write option 3 in the comments. And if you've already made some improvements to your home, tell us which one helped you the most. But if what you feel is missing isn't safety, but company, if what you long for is shared stories and laughter echoing down the hall, then the next option might be just what you've been waiting for. Perhaps what you miss isn't just safety, but life itself, movement, real conversations, that youthful energy that gives rhythm to the days and awakens the soul. Because sometimes, what weighs heaviest isn't the silence of the home, but the lack of shared purpose. And that's where a beautiful and often underexplored option emerges. Option 4, structured multi-generational living. It's not about going back to living like before, everyone jumbled together in one space. It's about creating an environment where different generations share a home, responsibilities, and companionship, but with clear agreements that protect your freedom and your voice. Marta, at 78, moved in with her niece and her teenage children. From day one, they established boundaries. Marta has her own suite, with her own schedule and privacy. In return, She helps with breakfast, teaches the children oral history, and takes care of the garden. She's not a burden. She's part of the core. Similarly, Joaquin, at 82, lives with an old friend and a college student. Each has their own room and space, but they take turns cooking, cleaning, and watching movies on Fridays. "I don't feel like an old man just put away," he says. "I feel like a useful, wise person." This model doesn't just reconnect generations. It also reduces expenses, prevents isolation, and reactivates that sense of belonging that many have lost. And what if you don't have family nearby? Many communities, parishes, or online platforms offer intergenerational living programs with young people who need a place to live and are willing to collaborate. The key lies in the agreements: clear rules, open communication, and mutual respect. Studies confirm this. This type of living improves mood, stimulates the mind, and reduces the need for medical assistance. Because feeling needed is also medicine. If this option inspires you, write option 4 in the comments. Can you imagine sharing your home with younger people without losing your space or your identity? Tell us how you would do it or how you're doing it. And if your desire goes even further, if you're looking for independence but also community without depending on family or acquaintances, the next option might open your mind and heart. And if what you desire is companionship, connection, but without depending on family, if you long for freedom without loneliness, then option 5, independent living communities. These could be exactly what you were looking for. This model was designed for older adults who value their autonomy, but recognize that living completely alone can become emotionally heavy. Here, there are no imposed schedules or rules that limit your personal life. You have your own apartment, you cook if you wanna, you go out when you wish, and at the same time, you have a network of people around you. Rosa, at 76, became a widow a few years ago. She didn't want to live with her children or feel like a burden. She moved to an independent living community in her city. Today, she teaches painting classes, participates in a book club, and says she feels useful again. For the first time in a long time, she shares, "I wake up with enthusiasm because I know I have someone to share coffee with without feeling like I'm interrupting anyone's life." And what about the money? It's true that some of these communities can seem costly, but many have subsidies for retired individuals or those with limited income. Others operate under cooperative models where residents share expenses. There are also more accessible versions created by municipalities, churches, or foundations. The important thing is to know that affordable alternatives do exist. Beyond the price, the benefits are compelling. People living in this type of community have better mood levels, greater emotional stability, fewer hospitalizations, and an active social life that slows cognitive decline. Because aging shouldn't be synonymous with isolation. If this option resonates with you, write option 5 in the comments. And if you already know such a community or dream of living in one, share it. But if what you desire goes even further, if you want to live in an environment full of life, diversity, children, young people, fresh conversations, then what's coming next might surprise you. And yes, it is absolutely possible. And if what you long for goes beyond just feeling accompanied, if what you're looking for is to be part of real life again, with children running through the halls, young people with dreams, new conversations every day, then this option might truly excite you. We're talking about option 6, intergenerational communities. These are spaces where older adults live together in an organized and respectful way with people of all ages, young families, students, professionals, artists. It's no longer just about living among older people, but about feeling like an active part of a diverse and vibrant environment. Maria, at 76, lives in one of these communities in Oregon. She is a widow and thought her social life was over until a local program connected her with an intergenerational network. Today, she leads a book club with college students, and in return, they teach her how to use video calls, digital platforms, and social media. "I started laughing heartily again," she shares, "and discovered I still have a lot to give." The beautiful thing about these communities is that nobody is there out of obligation. Everyone contributes, everyone receives. And the best part, you don't need to be a millionaire. Many of these initiatives are managed by foundations, municipalities, or cooperative housing networks with affordable fees or service exchange systems. And science confirms this. Older adults who live and interact with people of different generations show better memory, less depression, and a stronger sense of purpose. Because your experience, your voice, and your presence still matter, and they matter a lot. If this option ignites something within you, write option 6 in the comments. And if you already share your life with people of other ages, tell us what that experience has been like. And now, if you dream of having even more independence, but surrounded by like-minded people with your own space, your own rules, and your own friends, then don't miss what's coming next. Because the next option is as powerful as it is not widely known. What if you could live with total independence, but without feeling alone? Without the noise of an unfamiliar city? Without the coldness of an anonymous building? Without the anxiety of having no one to talk to if something happens? That's the magic of the village-style model. Option 7. Co-living for older adults, the modern village model. These are communities designed by and for older adults, where everyone has their private house or apartment, but they share common spaces, activities, security, and mutual support. It's not an institution. It's a free and collective life choice. Marta, at 72, joined a co-living community on the outskirts of her city. She has her small home with a kitchen, living room, patio, but also a common garden, a dining room for those who want to share dinner, a meeting room, and even a rotating help system. I don't have to ask my children to call me every day. Here, there's always someone to have tea with, laugh with, or simply keep each other company in silence. She shares with emotion. This type of community exists around the world under different names: senior co-housing, collaborative housing, eco-villages, active retirement communities. Some are born from cooperatives, others from alliances between friends or neighbors with a shared vision. The important thing is that they allow you to age with control, dignity, and surrounded by people who also chose to live with purpose. And although it sounds complex, many of these initiatives turn out to be more economical than traditional housing because expenses are shared, intermediaries are eliminated, and common resources are accessed. This model doesn't just promote physical and emotional health. It also revives the spirit of tribe, of belonging, of real home. Because living alone doesn't mean living in isolation. And aging doesn't mean shutting yourself away. If this option resonates with you, write option 7 in the comments. Can you imagine creating a community like this with friends or like-minded people? What would your ideal village be like? And if you still feel that nothing fits for you, don't worry. The last 2 options are so unique and flexible, they might surprise you more than you imagine. And if your soul still wants to discover new paths, landscapes, and sunsets, who said you have to stay put? Today, more and more older adults are choosing to live on wheels, in RVs, campers, or small adapted mobile homes. Not out of necessity, by choice, because freedom can also be a lifestyle at any age. Option 8, life on wheels, mobile living or senior nomad style. Sam, at 75, sold his house after retiring and bought a converted van. Today, he travels around his country visiting towns, natural parks, and even his grandchildren in different cities. He has a comfortable bed, a dry toilet, a portable kitchen, and internet connection. I've never felt so free, he says, or so much in control of my time. On the other hand, Melina lives on her daughter's land, in a small, tiny house of 25 square meters. She has her independence, her silence when she wants it, and the certainty that her family is nearby if she ever needs them. It's my refuge, but also my choice, she says with a peaceful smile. This lifestyle isn't for everyone, but for those who dream of movement, changing landscapes, or simply an affordable way to age with autonomy. It's a revolutionary option. Senior nomad communities exist around the world. Support groups, meeting points, apps to find safe places to stay, and even events designed for older adults who chose this path. And most importantly, it's not about escaping, but about living with purpose, without walls limiting your experience. Does this idea inspire you? Can you imagine traveling routes, beaches, towns, or living in a tiny house in a loved one's garden? Then write option 8, in the comments and tell us what your ideal home on wheels would be like. And if you're still looking for something more intimate, more spiritual, more connected to your life's mission, the final option will touch your soul. What happens when the soul starts asking itself, more than ever, what am I still here for? It's not resignation. It's a call to live with meaning, with purpose, with a connection beyond the material. And that call doesn't disappear with age. It gets stronger. That's why one option that transforms aging into a rebirth is living in option 9, spiritual or purpose-driven communities, living with meaning. We're not just talking about religion. We're talking about purpose, about older adults who choose to live together not just to care for each other, but to meditate, pray, teach, serve, cultivate, heal, right? Create in environments where the spiritual and the human embrace each day. Examples? Clara, at 81, joined a small community in the mountains where they have morning prayer, grow their own food, and offer free workshops to young people. For the first time in a long time, I feel like my day matters, she says with a soft but firm voice. Or Juan and Teresa, a couple aged 70 and 68, who live in a spiritual eco-village. There are no luxuries, but there is purpose. They accompany people in grief, cook together, care for the land, and hold silent retreats. We don't come here to die. We come here to awaken, they say. And yes, some of these communities are free. Others operate as cooperatives. Others ask for minimal contributions. But what they have in common is this: the certainty that life still has something sacred to give. If you feel this option connects with your heart, and you'd like to dedicate your wisest years to sowing purpose and sharing from the soul, write option 9 in the comments. Because when you find a purpose, age becomes a blessing, not a burden. And now that you've seen these 9 options, tell me, which one spoke to your heart? Now you know the 9 real options for aging with dignity, freedom, and meaning. Perhaps you'd never heard of some of them. Others, perhaps you had dismissed out of fear, lack of support, or simply because you thought it was too late. But today it became clear there isn't one single way to age. There are paths, there are alternatives, and most importantly, you still have the power to choose. It's not about resigning yourself. It's about deciding how you want to live this stage of your life, with awareness, with autonomy, and with purpose. Now it's your turn. Which of these options spoke directly to your heart? Was there one that gave you hope or made you think of someone you love? Leave in the comments, because your story, your experience, or your simple reflection could be that light someone else is waiting for, so they don't give up. You've seen that living your later years with dignity, freedom, and purpose is possible. Now, to truly embrace your chosen path with the energy and vitality you deserve, supporting your physical and mental health is key. If you're an older adult looking for a clear, simple way to boost your energy, sharpen your mind, and support overall well-being as you age, Keto Made Easy offers a proven approach. It demystifies the keto diet, making it accessible so you can feel strong and clear-headed for all your adventures ahead. Ready to take a simple step towards greater vitality? Find the link to get your copy of Keto Made Easy right in the description below this video. If this video opened your eyes to new possibilities for aging, please give it a like. That simple click helps us reach more people who need this message. Don't forget to leave your comment telling us which option spoke to your heart, or share your own experience. Your wisdom truly makes a difference. And if you know someone who could benefit from seeing these options, please share this video with them. To keep exploring paths that honor your journey and support a life of purpose and connection, make sure you're subscribed and have the bell icon turned on. We're here to walk this path with you. Ready for more insights? Watch our next video right here.